Namaste everyone. So I'm going to read Book 5, Chapter 29 on the killing of Rakta Bija. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nidaveganam Kunamedeva Sarvakaya Sushara Om Gam Ganapate Namam Gam Ganapate Namam Gam Ganapate Namam Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namam Om Hamsa Hamsa Vidni Paramhamsa Dimtuna Hamsa Prashodayat Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om. Vyasa said, O king, please hear attentively about the extraordinary boon that was given by Mahadeva, the god of gods, to the great warrior Raktabija. Whenever a drop of blood from the body of that great warrior will drop on the surface of the earth, immediately will arise innumerable Danavas, equal in form and power to him. Thus Deva Rudra granted the demon the wonderful boon. Thus elated with the boon, he entered into the battlefield with great force, in order to kill Kalika with Ambika Devi. Seeing the Vaishnavi Shakti lotus-eyed, seated on the bird Garuda, the demon struck her with a violent weapon named Shakti. She then baffled the weapon by her club and hurled Sudarshana disc on the great Asura Raktabija. Thus struck by the disc, blood began to ooze out from his body as the red stream of soft red sandstone comes out of a mountaintop. Whenever on the surface of the earth drops of blood fell from his body, then and there sprang out thousands and thousands of demons like him. Indrani, the wife of Indra, became very angry and struck the terrible Raktabija with his thunderbolt. Streams of blood then began to ooze out from his body. No sooner the drops of blood fell from the demon's body than were instantaneously born from the blood many powerful asuras of similar forms, having similar weapons and hard to be conquered in battle. Brahmini, then becoming enraged, struck at him with the staff of Brahma with greater force. Maheshwari rent the Danava asunder by striking him with her trident. Narasimhi pierced the Asura with her nails. Varahi struck at him with her teeth. Then the Danava became angry, shot at them all with sharpened arrows and pierced them all. Then when the Matrika Devis were pierced by the club and other various weapons of the great Asura, they got very angry and pierced the Danavas in return with shots of arrows. Kumaris too struck at his breast with her weapon named Sakti. The Danavas then got angry and hurled on them multitude of arrows and began to pierce them. O king, the Chandika Devi, getting angry, cut off his weapons into pieces and shot violently at him other arrows. O king, thus struck by severe blows, when blood began to flow in profuse quantities from his body, thousands and thousands of Danavas resembling Raktabija sprang out instantly from it, so much so that the heavens were all covered over with Raktabijas that sprang up from the blood. They all covered all over their bodies with coats of armor, began to fight terribly with weapons in their hands. Then the Devas, seeing that the innumerable Raktavijas were striking the Devi, became very much frightened and were distressed with sorrow. They began to talk with each other with sorrowful countenances that thousands and thousands of huge-bodied warriors were springing from the blood. These were all very powerful, so how could they be destroyed? In this battlefield, there were now left only the Matrikas, Kalika, and Chandika. It would be certainly extremely difficult for them to conquer all these Danavas, and if at that moment Shumba and Nishumba were to join them with his army, certainly a great catastrophe would occur. Vyasa said, O king, when the Devas were thus extremely anxious out of terror, Ambika Devi said to the lotus-eyed Kali, O Chamunda, open out your mouth quickly, and no sooner I strike Raktabija with weapons, you would drink off the blood as fast as it runs out of his body. Instantly I will kill those Danavas sprung from the blood with sharpened arrows, clubs, swords, and musalas, and you would then be able to devour them all at your will, and then roam in this field as you like. O large-eyed one, you would drink off all the jets of blood in such a way that not a drop of it escapes and falls on the ground. And then, when they will all be devoured, no more Danavas would be able to spring. Thus, they will surely be extirpated. Otherwise, they will never be destroyed. Let me begin to strike blows after blows on Raktabija, and you better drink off quickly all the blood, being intent on destroying the forces, O Chamundi. Thus the Danavas being all exterminated, we will hand over to the Indra, the Lord of the Devas, his heavens without any enemy, and thus we can go peacefully and happily to our own places. Vyasa said, O king, the Chamunda Devi, of furious strength, hearing thus the Devi's words, began to drink the jets of blood coming out of the body of Raktabija. The Devi Ambika began to cut the demon's body into pieces, and Chamunda, of thin belly, went out devouring them. Then Raktabija, becoming angry, struck Chamunda with his club. But though she was thus hurt severely, she drank off the blood and then devoured all the limbs thereof. O king, thus Kalika Devi drank off the blood of all other powerful wicked Danava Raktabijas that sprang out of the blood. Ambika thus destroyed them. Thus all the Danavas created out of the blood were devoured. Then there was left lastly the real Raktabija. Ambika Devi then cut him asunder into pieces by her axe and thus killed him. Thus, when the dreadful Raktabija was slain in the battle, the Danavas fled away trembling with fear. Without any weapons, covered all of the bodies, covered all over their bodies with blood, and void of consciousness, they uttered, dumb, confounded, alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened? Thus crying, they told their king Shumba thus, O king of kings, Ambika Devi has killed Raktabija, and Chamunda has drunk off all their blood. The carrier Vahana of Devi, the powerful ferocious lion, killed other powerful warriors, and Kali devoured the remaining soldiers. O Lord of the Danavas, we have fled and come to you to give the news of the battle and to describe the wonderful doings of that Chandika Devi in the battlefield. O king, in our opinion, no one will be able to conquer that lady, be he a Daitya, Danava, Gandharva, Asura, Yaksha, Panaga, Charana, Rakshasa, or an Uraga. O king of kings, the other goddesses, Indrani and others, have come to the battle on their own carriers respectively and are fighting with various weapons. O Lord of the Danavas, the Danava forces are all slain by them with the excellent weapons in their hands. Even Raktabija has been slain in no time. That line of indomitable prowess killed the Rakshasas in the battle. The Devi alone is hard to conquer. How much more would it be impossible to conquer her when she has been joined with other goddesses? So consult with the ministers and do what is reasonable. In our opinion, it is better to make treaty with her and quit your enmity. O king, think over the fact that that lady destroyed all the Danavas and at last drank off the blood of Raktabija and at last killed him. What on earth can be more wonderful than this? O king, the Devi Ambika killed all the other deities, and Chamunda devoured their blood, flesh and all. Considering all this, it is now better for us to serve the Devi Ambika or fly away to Patala. No more fighting is desirable. She is not an ordinary woman. She is Mahamaya. There is not the least doubt in this. Only to serve the cause of the gods, she has manifested herself and is now destroying the Rakshasas race. Vyasa said, hearing thus, Shumba got confounded by Kala, death. As his end was coming night, and said the following words, his lips quivering with anger. You are struck with fear, so you all take refuge of Chandika or fly down to Patala. But I will kill her with all my exertion and effort. I conquered all the hosts of Devas, and I have enjoyed their kingdom. Shall I now, out of fear of one lady, fly and enter into Patala? All my attendants, Raktabija and other heroes, are now slain in the battle, and is it possible that I will now fly away out of the sake of preserving my life? See, the death of all beings is ordained by Kala, and it is unavoidable. No sooner a being is born, he is liable to the fear of death. How can a man then, out of fear of death, quit all his name and fame? O Nishumba, I will now go immediately to the battle, mounting on my chariot, and will return after slaying her in battle. And if I cannot kill her, I will not then return any more. O best of warriors, better stand on my side with all your forces and kill that lady in no time with sharp arrows. Nishumba said, Today I will go to the battle, and slaying that Kalika, will shortly return here with Ambika. O king, do not think at all for that lady. See my world-conquering strength, and look at that weak woman. There is a vast difference. Cast aside this great mental anxiety and trouble. Enjoy, O brother, excellent things. I will bring that dignified lady with all honors before you. O king, you ought not to go to the battle when I am alive. I will presently go to the fight and bring for you that lady as a sign of our victory. Vyasa said, O king, thus saying, the younger brother, proud of his own strength, went hurriedly to the battlefield, mounting on his big chariot. He was protected all over his body by his coat of armor, and he was well provided with various weapons and all other accoutrements of war. The bards began to sing hymns to him, and various other propitious ceremonies were being performed. Here in the 29th chapter of the 5th book on the killing of Raktabija in Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, the Mahapuranam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyas. Hari Om. Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Kashama Shivadatri Swaha Swadha Namaste. Om Tumeo Mata Chapita Tumeo Bandusha Chasaka Tumeo Vidya Dravinang Tumeo Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.